only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. It's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Welcome in once again to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. I'm Dave Priest. We got a lot of information to go over the next 30 minutes. Got some contact information that you're going to need to write down because I'm sure you'll have some questions and you'll probably want to get in touch with Blake when it's all over. Phone number to get in touch with Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group is 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. And, of course, the website designed especially for this radio show is BlakeSloanRadio.com. That's BlakeSloanRadio.com. We will be repeating that information over the next 30 minutes. So if you didn't get it this time, we'll get it to you next time it rolls around. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and find out from the man himself. Blake Sloan, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Got a ton of great new stuff for everyone. Great info for both buyers and sellers. And got some more awesome news this week as a team in our company. The national rankings came out for what they call America's Best Real Estate Agents, and they break it down by state. And our team was once again ranked number 1 in the state of South Carolina. This also goes along with that Wall Street Journal, top 1,000 they call it, and we were ranked the top 50 in North America. So really cool news, and they just released that. It's called America's Best Real Estate Agents, and like I said, they break it down by state, by MSA, which is like Myrtle Beach, in certain areas, but state-wise by teams, we're number 1 by 70 transactions. We beat number 2 by over 100. So, pretty cool there for sure. Congratulations to everybody on our team, and thank all our clients and everybody out there. But really cool to kind of see all that hard work pay off for everyone continually, and be able to serve our clients like we do. So, really cool stuff there. We have some very important info for homeowners in Horry County. And it's regarding their property taxes, and we'll cover this. But right now, most people probably don't know this, but properties are being reassessed right now as we speak. So we'll talk about what that means to you, what's going to happen, and some really kind of interesting info there for anybody. Definitely want to pay attention to that. Also talk about what types of down payments are needed to buy a home. And they had a big survey, and it's surprising to me where nearly half of the people surveyed were way off base in regards to what they thought was needed. And it's something that may be hindering the housing market. We'll talk about that, what that means. We have a bunch of buyers looking to buy right now. Obviously, it's the peak of our seasonal market, I guess you'd say. Tons and tons of buyers. We need listings, need inventory. We'll talk about what we need, what we're looking for there. And we'll also talk a little bit more about taking advantage of the summer market as a home seller, and what you need to do to get your home sold faster for the absolute most amount of money. And, of course, we have some smoking hot deals for everyone. At the end, we'll show you how to get VIP access to all the best deals, even before most real estate agents even know about them.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to get to, Blake, here over the next 30 minutes. And just an update, I know that if you're just tuning in, Blake has been on the radio here for quite some time, but if you have not tuned in before, you're just catching the show. Here's a little bit about Blake. It's an amazing story. Industry leaders have called him the real estate whiz kid. Been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, on NBC, on Fox and Friends, the morning show, Realtor magazine, and other publications nationally. You've heard on this radio station endorsements from both Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck. Put that all together, and it is just unprecedented. Now, last week, Blake, and every week we go over the fact that you've got some systems in place that you have worked by for both buyers and sellers. So why don't you just kind of recap real quickly what you do? Absolutely,
and that's the one thing every single time I want to make sure that we cover this, because it's the biggest thing that I see kind of, I guess, mistakes made. And if I could really just need to clarify it, the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home buyer or a home seller is 100% related to the agent that you choose or the team that you choose. Most people make the mistake of thinking that real estate agents are just a commodity and everyone's all the same. It could not be further from the truth. Just like any doctor, any lawyer, there's a big thing there. What happens is both in the home buying process from A to Z and also in the home selling process from A to Z, there's 100 different variables. Every single one of those variable points, you can either create positive leverage, right, to help yourself out, or you create negative leverage that puts you at a disadvantage. And what we've done is I've literally flown the country and studied, other top realtors in the country and even other industries. We reverse engineered every single aspect, every single one of those steps to create maximum leverage proactively all the way through A to Z. So for our home buyers, we have what we call unfair advantage home buying system. We get you absolute best access to all the best deals, the hottest deals, foreclosure, distressed deals, desperate sellers before anyone else through technology that we developed. Also help you from A to Z to help find the absolute best financing. We went and scouted out, found the absolute best lenders who lend the most money for the best rates, best vendors help you through that process to protect you there, and that's an unbelievable opportunity for buyer side there. On the listing side, it's a total opposite system there. So that's what we call our guaranteed sold system, and it's the only proven system out there to sell homes up twice as fast and put 21% more money in traditional methods. And we show you literally line by line, number by number on how to do that. And that's an awesome system for anybody, sellers. The same thing for buyers as well.
I'll tell you what, we're just scratching the surface here, just getting started here. We've got a lot of stuff to get over to you. So, again, make sure to write down the information. If you'd like to call Blake and talk to him at the Sloan Realty Group, do so at 843-808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. You could also go onto the website at BlakeSloanRadio.com. Coming up next, we'll have a real estate update. We'll also look at some numbers as far as mortgage rates are concerned. It's all a part of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. That's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast and for top dollar. Now, that's why, on average, Blake sells a property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. Now, working with Blake is risk-free. If you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at Blake'sGuarantee.com.
Welcome back to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake, we have a lot of information to get to, so let's get right back to it. Interest rates coming up in just a minute, but what's the latest real estate intro or update look like? I mean, what are things looking like in the area?
We covered that like a show or two ago. We kind of had, the most recent numbers. Our numbers usually come out between the 10th and the 15th. So we subscribe to every possible data source you can imagine, and usually just takes them that long to usually get there. So we're obviously seeing an increase from where we were in regards to seasonal sales, and we'll hopefully have those new numbers there for the next show next week for everyone. But we're still kind of right in line. We've been up, we've been down, and it also depends on obviously what area you're at within our marketplace as well. So that's kind of we'll have that post for everybody next week too on the show. One thing I just want to recap too is congrats to everybody on our team with that Real Trends thing. Just kind of clarify what that whole America's Best Real Estate Agents is. Some of this giant consulting firm called Real Trends, and they're really like the most respected, I guess you say, consulting and source for like data, news, and stuff in the residential industry for real estate. And what they do is they basically are the one big one that the big company, I guess, that does an unbiased, verified report. So people can't just submit their information and numbers there. They have to be verified, with either MLS data or sales data. And really, really cool. Like I said, they kind of do the whole thing in partnership with Wall Street Journal, where they rank the top 1,000 in North America, and they break it down by states as well, which they just started doing. And second year in a row, they've done it. Second year in a row, we were number one in regards to teams with 476 closed transactions there last year. The number two, they were from somewhere in Greenville, Anderson. They're at 407, and so we're beaten by 70 there. And three was some friends of mine in Charleston actually, and they're at 371. And we're pretty much 100 over. Number three is pretty strong. So it's almost 25% more, I guess, whatever that number would be. A lot more than that. So really cool stuff there. Just definitely really proud of our team and everything. And thank you to all our clients and stuff out there as well. But let's talk about interest rates. We've kind of been up a little bit, and they were back down, the past few weeks, but we're still very, very close to 2 weeks ago. We were right at 52-week low, and where that was 4.08, we were right at 4.10 then. Right now we're up at 4.15% for a 30-year fixed rate, and we're back up after some positive news here in the U.S., economy-wise a few weeks ago, and then it was kind of back down recently a little bit because of some news in the European markets, but 30-year fixed rate, like I said, 4.15%. 15-year fixed rate, 3.28%. Rates up here with a 30-year FHA fixed mortgage, 3.75%. We've seen this a lot lower because people were really kind of complaining about their P&I, basically your mortgage insurance and stuff was a little high, but they've really been keeping that down, which is awesome. A jumbo 30-year fixed, we talk about anything over $417,000 is 3.99%. Awesome. I mean, it's still unbelievable opportunity for people out there, which is really still kind of helps on that growth going. What everybody's kind of thinking, we talked about before, obviously the big analysts for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and the Mortgage Brokers Association, they're all predicting, what's going to happen in the second quarter of 2015. Fannie Mae analysts say looking at 4.17%. Freddie Mac thinks it's going to be about 5.0%. Mortgage Bankers Association, 5.2%. So the National Association of Realtors is saying 5.4%. So it's definitely going to be trending up. We're kind of seeing that go up, back down, up, back down. Unbelievable opportunity for everyone here. Looking to still buy. We've seen the demographics kind of switch. Like we talked about, the higher end prices are really been moving lately because those people are usually more conservative and sitting back waiting. But unbelievable deals out there still. We're seeing a lot of obviously distress and foreclosure inventory drying up, but now we're going to see a lot more new construction homes coming on the market. So definitely great stuff to watch for. Interest rates still unbelievably low, much lower than anybody thought it was going to be. Like I said, I bought a few months ago at 4.25, and I thought I barely squeaked in. And great opportunity out there for anyone still looking to buy and still out there looking.
All right, a lot of numbers to digest there, but of course, if you do want to get more information on that, you can just go to the website at BlakeSloanRadio.com, BlakeSloanRadio.com, and get an outline of everything that you just heard here and get more information. Of course, you can call Blake at Sloan Realty Group at 843-808-SOLD. You are listening to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up next, catch our hot buyer alert, and also we're going to be talking about reassessment. That's all coming up here in just a minute on the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show. Hello, Myrtle Beach. It's Glenn Beck. And if you need to sell your property, you don't have to experience all the headaches and long nights that I had to experience when I finally sold my home in Connecticut. Because you have a celebrity right in your backyard, Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. The guarantees to sell your property at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake is going to pull out his checkbook and buy it himself. The Wall Street Journal ranks Blake among the top 100 real estate agents in North America. And I personally met Blake, and I can tell you that his national marketing program is unparalleled. Blake even gives you the option to get out of your contract at any point if you're not happy with his level of service, but you never will. He's the real estate agent I wish I could have called, Blake Sloan. Call him now at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or visit Blake's website and see his interview on NBC. That's BlakeGuarantee.com. Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Thanks for spending part of your morning with the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Now, Blake, we always have a hot buyer alert, and this week is no different. I know that you are working with a couple of Mr. and Mrs. Vaughn. They're looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, ranging in prices between $275,000 to $350,000. Now, if you have a home in that range and you're thinking of selling, contact Blake immediately. The phone number is 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. Sounds like a very interesting proposition.
Yeah, we have a ton of buyers right now, and like I said, the hardest really to find, I guess, is that same price range. We have anybody from even 100s, 150s up to $4 million right now, but that's just I like to really highlight someone who's they're looking for something kind of not unique, but in that price range, people kind of want things in a nicer price range. People kind of want things in some of the nicer neighborhoods. There's just not as much inventory there, but we have a ton of buyers right now. Obviously, we talked about it's kind of the seasonal height of our market here. Tons of people who've been looking for like 6-8 months online on our site, finally coming in town. They're combining with our vacation. We had the busiest few weeks of the year in regards to people in town. But we literally sold 2 this past week. The day they hit the MLS, those were our own listings. Those were not foreclosures. They were traditional listings. And basically 2 of our buyer experts, we always have a weekly team meeting, and we share, what's our new listings, what do we have. And both of those buyer experts, learned about that, called their client, went and showed them the property same day. Literally loved it, wrote it up, and we had it sold the first day on the market. Those are just 2 of our own, and that's how our team's built. So instead of being a team of generalists, like most people try to do, we have a team of specialists, and that's why we're able to do that. So all our buyer experts, they're only working with those buyers there. So guess what? Now they have the time to sit back and say, oh, you know what? This is a great property, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm going to call them and tell them about it instead of just depending on them to find it themselves on some website. Or we have true experts who know what they're looking for. They're working with just those certain clients, and now they're able to match them up with that. And the fact is that our team is set up to incentivize our buyer experts to show our listings I give them a bonus personally if they sell one of our listings, because one, that better serves our clients, on both ends, to make sure they know about that property, and two, they're able to make more money. And that's the factor. We're able to double in, sell both sides of that. We make more money as a company, and it's kind of, I guess, capitalism how it works. But we really set it up to have those team of experts who specialize in that aspect, to be able to match them up one by one. Not just depend on some computer to send you 1,000 properties and you got to search through at night after work and pick through. We have experts say, hey, look, you know what? This house here matches exactly what you're looking for. Let's take a look at it. So it's a really, really cool thing. And you can see right now we have massive amount of active buyers. I even put a screenshot there for you, Dave, to see.
I saw that. I was looking over your shoulder.
Tell everybody how many active buyers we have right now.
900 active leads right now. Active buyers.
Those are buyers who are searching on the site daily.
That's amazing.
So 8,909 people who are searching, and that's not like leads like they just submitted. Like those are the ones that are searching on our site, our MLS, search technology, which I feel is the absolute best in the game. We pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for this tool a month, but it's huge. So anybody other looking to sell, that's what I'm saying. 8,909 buyers looking to, every single day on our site, searching, opening up emails, looking at it, and that's what I'm talking about. Where we need inventory in regards to what people want, because even though there's 30, 40 homes in X price range, doesn't mean that's what they like, right? So that's what's so important right now. And inventory is, down from where it was. And anybody looking to sell, for sure, definitely call us. We can at least give you, a no hassle, easy valuation of where it's at. If you think somebody may be interested in selling, give them our info, have them call us. It's free, no obligation. We have enough business. We're not going to hound anybody. We're going to say, here, look, here's what we're looking at. Here's where the numbers are, and we're going to balance that fine line of how fast you need to sell and how much money you need to get, because we always want to make sure we can maximize both of those.
All right, I know we got another thing that's going to be coming up if you're an Horry County property owner.
Yeah, huge thing here. And that's the one thing that's kind of slipped on the radar for a lot of people. It's not that big a deal for some, but it's just something that we want everybody to be aware of. That's, listeners for us and clients and friends out there. But it's very, very important, kind of what's going on right now. Most people don't know, but our properties are being reassessed right now to determine what your next year's tax value will be. And, most people don't really know how it works, and we kind of asked people what they thought, questions were, and most people say, what if the assessor says my property's increased? What's going to happen then? And, basically, you'll receive a letter in the mail in August letting you know your property tax is going to increase based on that value. And, in the past 12 months, we have seen a, significant increase, anywhere from about 6%, a little bit higher depending on where you're at. So that's something to really watch for. But some areas may not have had that big, of increase. But check this out. What happens if the assessor says my property is less in value? Check this out. You will not get a letter. You're not going to get a letter saying that your tax has been lowered. You have to actually process an appeal to make sure you get that. And that's funny how the government works, right? It's like, all right, we're going to make sure that that same thing happened when they passed the changes a while back, where they would base it on sales price, but part of that law, how it worked is, if your property sells for a higher price than it did before, great, they're going to, do your taxes based on that. If it sells for a lower one, and that's what happened when the market kind of crashed, and, 5 or 6 after 5 or 6 when things were so hot, they couldn't, so then they're paying taxes. We had some Grand Dunes clients that were paying taxes on $1.6 million house value. They only paid like $800 for it, so you have to actually, process that appeal. And I know it's kind of upsetting for a lot of people, who realize they have to kind of pay more or go through more steps to be able to pay less, and it's kind of hard. A lot of people feel it's unfair, but check this out. This is something that's on the Horry County website that's important to make sure you know. And like I said, this is their job. They got to do it. Our county's awesome. It's one of the largest counties around. So, but this is actually on their site. It says, if your property's increase in taxable value, you will likely receive a higher tax bill. If your property stayed at about the same taxable value, you may receive a higher tax bill because there are some properties that decrease in taxable value, causing the redistribution of the tax burden. Check that out. Did you guys pick that up? If your value has decreased slightly, you still may see an increase in taxes due to the redistribution of the tax burden.
That doesn't seem right somehow.
So, right, you know what I mean? So that's kind of just something, all right, just to be careful there. Now, like I said, I absolutely love our county where we're at, and just, all play the game. But what we want to do is, right, with our clients, everybody, we look at the game. We're going to play the game to win, no matter what the rules are. We're going to do that. So the one thing we're just talking about here is make sure you just understand where you're at. It's not a huge deal, but we're going to post a link for you where you can go on in the event that you think that you're not going to agree with where the value you're at. We're more than happy to help you just kind of, give you a quick estimate there. But you go through the appeal process, and basically to appeal the value, you get that link, and there's a whole, and most people can find it. You go to HorryCounty.org, search through the departments there, go to the assessor, and there should be a link that says questioning value. and you can go through and kind of check out all the stuff that's going on and how it works. But basically, you guys have the opportunity. You have to file an appeal to that value and see. But those of you going to happen to go see if it does go up, you'll probably see that in August and be able to kind of see what's going on. And more than happy to help anybody out there who may have some questions. Submit, email, go to our site, call us, whatever you want to do, and we can certainly help you with that for sure.
All right. Well, I know that's going to be an interesting thing. Want to go to a break here?
Yeah, we'll do a break. They'll come back and we'll do that last part about down payments and stuff.
Okay, sounds good. We'll talk about that coming up in just a second. You are listening to, I want to watch it, but you're listening to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show along with Blake Sloan. And if you'd like to get in touch with Blake, you can do that by calling Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. Of course, the website set up specifically for this radio show is BlakeSloanRadio.com. BlakeSloanRadio.com.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. That's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. Most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer.
Right. When we get back from this, will be at about 21 and a half, so we still got a ways to go.
Okay.
So.
For top dollar. That's why, on average, Blake sells property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. And working with Blake is risk-free. If you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at Blake'sGuarantee.com.
Welcome back to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. In case you haven't gotten that phone number, we've been repeating throughout the last 30 minutes. 808-SOLD, that's 808-SOLD at Sloan Realty Group. In case you'd like to get in touch with Blake, I'm sure he would love to talk to you as well. But right now, he's going to be talking about another topic that we have this morning during the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show. And that's down payments, real estate, and some misconceptions of people.
Yeah, this study just came out recently that, kind of actually surprised me a little bit. Not really. I kind of suspected it in a way, and actually mentioned it in one of our meetings not that long ago. But the whole thing is, so there's millennials. Obviously, everybody kind of knows what millennials, the different age groups and stuff. And a lot of people that's kind of been in the market, when things are so hot in 2004, 2005, people could get a loan for no money down, and it's so easy to get then. What we've seen is kind of that generation, the new generations here of millennials who are buying their first house or things like that. They're kind of, I guess they weren't really there with the zero down world, and now it's kind of been difficult to get loans and certain things. So a study came out from two different sources, but one's a large asset management company called Nomura. I can't pronounce it, but basically they came out with a study for guidance for their investors. And they had a big article in Housing Wire last week, but it said Nomura's note to clients has a few have offered. The first-time home buyers are holding out, and it's not student debt, a shift away from home ownership, or as a choice by millennials, or any of that. Instead, they think it's a lack of a full understanding of the mortgage process, which is, and I started asking some people I knew, and it was very similar. How much do you think you need down for a down payment? And it was kind of very similar. So watch this. Analysts say it's not millennials or other potential home buyers aren't qualified in terms of their credit scores or how much they have saved for their down payment. It's they think they're not qualified, or they think they don't have a big enough down payment. And the emphasis in the article is added, to the down payment part. And it says this comes off at the heels of another survey by Zelman Associates that revealed, check these numbers out, pretty crazy. 38% of those between ages 25 and 29, and 42% of those between ages 30 and 34 believe that a minimum down payment required to buy a house is 15%. So that's almost half. Look, 42% of people between ages 30 and 34, that's my age, they think that the minimum down payment required to buy a house is 15%, and that's a big, big thing for most people, right? Is a down payment to be able to get in, the barrier of entry, and that's kind of what's crazy there. In actuality, a purchaser can buy a house for a lot less. Even, after the whole, mortgage crisis and the things tightened up, and that's kind of a really crazy thing. So a part of the article talks about, Freddie Mac's vice president, head of single family sales. She came out and said, a person can get a confirming conventional mortgage, which is basically a conventional mortgage, and pay a little down payment as little as 5%, and sometimes as little as 3%. So a big jump there in what people think in actuality. So really want to talk about that. So anybody out there, millennial age, or anybody wonders, what's it take to get a loan? And there's FHA. I mean, you put 3% down on a lot of those stuff, and that's a huge thing. Opportunity wise for people, and a lot of that stuff. And it talks about Freddie Mac's purchase of mortgages with down payments under 10%. has more than quadrupled between 2009 and 2013. So it's talk about loosening up mortgage standards and easier to get a loan here. Just to repeat that number there, so Freddie Mac is obviously, them and Fannie Mae are the largest purchasers of mortgage-backed securities there. But the down payments under 10% has more than quadrupled between 2009 and 2013. Huge thing there, right? More than 1 in 5 borrowers who took out conforming conventional mortgages in 2014 put down less than 10%. And that's and here's the other thing too is, certain qualified borrowers can further reduce their down payment coming out of their own pockets to 3%. By lining up gifts from family or grants or loans from nonprofit and public agencies. There's a ton of grants and things from public agencies out there that no one really even knows about or takes advantage of. But it's a huge thing, and that's what she mentioned in her article here. Ms. Boyle, who's the VP of Freddie Mac there, said letting more consumers know that how down payments are determined could bring a lot more qualified buyers off the sidelines, right? Depending on the current credit history, other factors, debt to income ratio, things like that. They can expect to make a down payment of about 5% up to 10%. But the crazy thing was nearly half of those people thought they needed 15% to do so. So anybody that consider the bottom line is, if you consider purchasing something, a dream home, know your options. Speak, go reach out to a real estate expert, not just your friend that from down the street or church or whatever. Talk to somebody who's a true expert, either a real estate agent who's an expert in the marketplace there. They want to be rounded in everything, and also a mortgage broker or someone there to really kind of know the situation, kind of where you're at for sure, because that's huge info there.
I guess the bottom line is that things are a lot more affordable than people have been told or think that they are.
Yeah, I even interviewed a guy the other day that was a mortgage broker somewhere else, and I'm like, well, what happened? Moved away there from somewhere else in, I think, Atlanta, and it's like, well, what made you get real estate? He was a mortgage broker. What made you get mortgages? Oh, well, no one could get loans anymore. I'm like, well, hell, we sure didn't have, we still sold, a house every 24 hours, during that whole period. So it's a lot of, and then what happens is that person tells 10 people, and they tell their sphere of people, right? But in reality, was it tougher after, the whole mortgage crisis? Absolutely, because that's because people were buying 3 or 4 or 5 houses, with no money down, and it's craziness, back then, which led to the massive, bubble and crash, and that was kind of, so, did it correct itself? Absolutely, but what we see, there was probably maybe a minor overcorrection there in what was required for people to get, but then all it was making sure that people actually qualify for it, and then they can buy. There wasn't as much. Remember, they just have no doc loans where you could just estimate your income and what you thought, what you're going to make, and they give you a loan. The banks designed those types of loans to be able to give it to everybody, and now it's kind of corrected, but at the same time, it's not what people think. And you found that if you think about the people in those early millennial, part of that generation, they weren't in the market at that point, right? So all they know is the time when it was fairly tough, and everybody who used to be able to get loans really easily is now complaining because they can't get those loans like they used to, right? So big difference there. It's a great opportunity for anybody. Just make sure that your the true facts, and make sure you don't just take hearsay. That's what somebody always says, is that free advice is always worth what you pay for,
The last minute that we have here, Blake, before we have to go, do we have any smoking hot deals that you want to highlight real quick?
Huge deal. Another deal we have is Grand Dunes deal it's foreclosure. One of our foreclosure deals. They just dropped it $50,000. It's a little bit above $700,000. One of the largest homes in that section there. Absolutely, we have a ton of deals that we have, both traditional and foreclosures, everything. Go to our site, sign up. We can get you on that VIP service we have. We have even another foreclosure on the waterway. Absolutely, they're actually redoing it. I think it's right at $300,000. All kind of other stuff. We have some oceanfront condos, a bunch of deals that are absolute steals out there as well. Also have some really nice, homes that are traditional sales that are priced to sell quick and are turnkey ready to go for those buyers that don't want to deal with foreclosures or anything like that at all, for sure.
All right, well, it's been an info-packed last 30 minutes, Blake. We appreciate the time, as always.
Oh, me too, definitely. See you guys next week for sure.
And if anybody wants to get in touch with you, just give me a call.
Oh, yeah, right now, anytime. Call us 808-SOLD for sure.
808-SOLD, that's 843-808-SOLD. You can get in touch with Blake, and if you want to find out more about what you've been listening to over the last 30 minutes, just go online to BlakeSloanRadio.com. That's BlakeSloanRadio.com. You've been listening to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hello, Myrtle Beach. Glenn Beck. And if you need to sell your property, you don't have to experience all the headaches and long nights that I had to experience.